Okay, so in this video I'm going to show you how to trace the inside pages, or to create the inside pages of your codex book. We're using Strathmore drawing paper. It's a pretty nice standard drawing paper. It comes in a big pad like this. You are going to need to have one sheet of this big paper, okay? You're also going to need to use a pencil and a pair of scissors that are sharp and a template to trace the pages. You're going to lay the template down just like you see it there, so that the short edge of the template is lined up with the long edge of your paper, just like that. You're going to use your pencil to trace around the edge of the template all the way around, even that part that's close to the top. You don't want to try and line that up flush with the edge of the paper, because we're going to end up having to trim that down anyway. So go ahead and line it up, trace all the way around, and then you're going to move your template over, leave a little bit of a gap, just a tiny one, enough to trace all the way around it again, and you will continue to move that down. When you're done, it should look something like this. You should have 8 traced folios, which is what one sheet of paper is. So 8 little traced little rectangles on your sheet of paper. So this is correct. That's how your paper should look. If you start to trace it in a different way, like if you start laying it out in funky ways and trying to trace it all cattywampus, or you're trying to put it some this way and some this way, you're not going to end up with 8. So make sure that you do it the way that looks like this. Okay. The next step is to use your scissors, and you're going to cut out in between, roughly cut out in between each piece of paper. You need to be very careful that when you cut, you're not cutting inside of that trace line. So cut between them. Don't worry if it's not an exact cut, because we're going to be using a paper trimmer to trim them down exactly to the right size. Just make sure that when you cut them, you're just roughly cutting them out so that we have a smaller piece of paper that we can put through the paper trimmer. So I will show you in the next video how that looks, what they look like when they're rough cut. Just cut right down the middle and kind of cut in between the middle of your pieces of paper. Don't worry about cutting exactly on the line, because we're going to be trimming that off with the paper trimmer next.